Queen P.R, Krista B, those wrestling girls, TWG, Black Excellence, making it effortless, podcast bringing up women and wrestling. Let's go.
Hey,
girl.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Let me do the infamous intro.
I love it.
What's up, everybody? It's your favorite girls, those wrestling girls. It's your girl Krista B,
And Queen P.R.
and today this is our official. I know last time we was like that's our first episode back, but this is our official first episode because we have a special guest that's going to be joining us today. We love her. We love what she does, and me and her have quite a funny story of how like wrestling kind of brought us together in a way. So I think we're just gonna jump right into bringing.
Yeah, because I never heard that story, so I'm excited to hear that story too, and get into it because it's been a long time coming. Like it's kind of crazy that this is the first time that we are having this very special guest on.
Right. So we're gonna welcome Miss Krssi Luv.
Hey, girl!
Oh my God, I'm so happy to see you.
Oh my God!
Oh
Same.
Hi. Oh, this has been a long time. Oh my God.
It feels so good to have you on.
Thank you. I'm so excited. I feel like we're all connected in weird ways, which is so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so funny, but yes, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you guys. Oh, I love you.
You too. So you're a woman in wrestling as well.
Yes.
So for those that don't know who you are, like what else you do in the world, do you want to give a brief intro and then into the what is it? 9 degrees of separation.
6 degrees.
6 degrees of separation.
Of course. Well, I am Miss Krssi Luv. I am one of the co-hosts of True Hill Heat. I am one of the True Hills, the queen of the True Hills. I have been doing that podcast now for almost 6 years with the guys. I met them at a wrestling show at Legends, and we've been tight ever since. I also do a podcast called Servant Face and Hill with Miss Stephanie Hypes. We do that on Sunday, dedicated to all women's wrestling, all women, everything. In women's wrestling all across the board for all the promotions. And now I'm doing the SmackDown review with Stephanie Hypes and Alex, Queen of the Ring, on Fridays with Know Your Role. So I am very, very busy. And I'm also one of the chaperones of the infamous wrestling club. If that's in a nutshell.
Love it, girl. Toast to you. You are a very, very busy woman. I didn't even know that you were doing all the things that you're doing, or that you were with True Hill Heat for almost 6 years, and that there's even more of a connection between all of us. But that we'll get into. But yeah, I loved hearing all your accolades so far.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
It's funny because P, you know how I always say wrestling. You never know who's a wrestling fan until you open your mouth.
Yes.
So in this instance, I found out that Krssi was a wrestling fan because we ran into each other at Barclays Center. And this is how it happened. So I knew her.
Yes, we knew each other. Right.
We knew each other before wrestling because her and my brother are neighbors. Like literally live exactly right next door to each other. So now every summer or before COVID, like they would have like this huge block party or huge backyard party outside.
Yes.
So and she has two boys, and I know that her family would do reviews on SmackDown and Raw.
Right. Yes.
On YouTube.
Yes.
So I was like, oh, they like
your family?
Yes. Yeah. That happened when they were much younger. I think that's what started the love for my youngest son. We would do like a SmackDown review. It was called SmackDown with the Lynches. And like this was like right before the pandemic. We would do like shows and reviews, and we watched. We would watch and review the show and give it like a little 30-minute videos of what it was. And then I think that sparked a little bit of the love for my youngest son, who loves wrestling now.
I love that. Now that when you're talking about it more, I feel like I possibly may have come across some of the videos. Did you guys ever wear matching clothes in the videos?
Yes, we had matching.
Okay. Yes, I've definitely come across that. Yes.
Coordinate a little bit and try to put it all together, make us unique and different and whatnot. And we would like sit on our bed and watch the review and just give our reactions of what happened.
That is so cute. I remember that. I love that.
So I think it was one time out of the many times. No, so I think SmackDown or Raw, something came.
Something happened after the Barclays, and I don't remember which one it was. And we bumped into each other just like, oh my God, you're a wrestling fan? No, you're a wrestling fan. Mind you, we've known each other and, you know, spoken to each other, but never like, I think that's the funny thing about wrestling that brings people together, because we would have never, that didn't happen, we would have never known that we have a love for wrestling, especially Black girls that love wrestling.
Exactly. So the funny part comes because my brother, he's always like introducing people to people. So we're at, I think it was my nephew's birthday party in the basement.
Yes.
So them two are talking, and I was like, "Oh, hey," and my brother's looking like, "Wait a minute, what?" I said, "Yeah, we bumped into each other at wrestling or whatever." He was like, "Oh, so y'all like wrestling?" And like, it's because of him that I'm even into wrestling. Like,
of course,
right? We don't watch it now, but if you ask him like who was the best wrestler of all time, he's gonna say Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Right.
I think it's that Capricorn thing. I don't know.
Yes.
So he was just like, "What the?" So then recently, when we saw the video of your son and doing the raffle, doing the popcorn, asking for the popcorn, he goes, "Oh, remind me to donate to Crystal and the kids for the wrestling show. Remind me." And I'm like, okay. But mind you, I'm here like, so you coming to, like, you bringing the boys, like you bringing both my nephews.
Right.
He was like, Stone Cold gonna be there? We don't know.
Asking an important question.
Like, it has to be a disclaimer before I even purchase my tickets to who am I going to see.
I said, listen, you need to be there to pick me up off the floor when The Rock shows up, because P can't carry me by herself.
I'll try. I will try.
I always forget that notion that there's also a possibility that he will. How this story can go 20 million different ways. That's why I think that's one of the loves of wrestling, of how it, like, you never know the anticipation of what's going to happen. Like, we think we know, but we really don't know.
And that's the fun of it.
That's the fun of it. And why do we love wrestling? Because of that.
Right, as I'm watching Rampage with The Rock right now on my TV.
So can I ask how you got into wrestling? Like, have you been a lifelong fan like Krista B and I?
Yes, I have been watching it since I have been 4 years old. I watched it with my grandmother and my uncle, and watching old VHS tapes, or watching it when it came on 12 o'clock on Channel 5. Old, I'm knowing my age right now. But yes, it's just one of those things. Then I watched like SmackDown with my brothers. They would do wrestling moves on me, on my cousins. Like, we would all watch like pay-per-views, like when they were like merely like pay-per-views back then were like very cheap, maybe like $40 or $50 back in the days, and they were one like every month or whatever. And then we had like a legal cable, so then that's how we also watched it too. But yes, I've had a love for wrestling ever since I was 4. Then I kind of like checked out. I want to say once I graduated from high school around like early 2004-ish. So I missed that whole like CM Punk era. The era of who else was like really popular, like the pillar of John Cena or what? Yes. All of those guys. And then I came back in it, I want to say around like 2011 or 12. And I got back in it like I never left before.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about it.
For all of us, like, the high school part of it is just like, all right, so why are we watching wrestling? Like,
I had so many other interests at the time.
Right. It just
especially growing up like in New York. But are you from Brooklyn?
I am from Brooklyn, yes.
Okay, so like you had like last one like radio and like hip hop, everything. There was so many different things for us to get into, and everyone. But like as a Black girl that loves wrestling, you don't think that's going to be something that you could go outside in the park and like talk to people. At least like
correct, exactly.
Like it was very much and I don't even know if this was intentionally purposeful, but I never felt the need to talk about it with other people at school because it was something I was just like in my house, like my family, like that. And so now going to like Legends and seeing like, wait, there were a lot of people like me
Yeah.
that I could have talked to.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the whole funny thing. I found it like through like Instagram, and I made my husband go to. I was a Royal Rumble view party, and I was like, "Oh, you want to go with me to like see like a wrestling show?" Like I had like dragged him along, and he was like, "Okay," and we had a ball, and I actually won a belt that my first time going. So it was so fun. Yes. So I got a raffle. Well, he actually bought the raffle. He'll say he won the raffle, not me. But I told him to go buy it. Whatever. So and we were downstairs in the basement watching the Royal Rumble. It was so fun. I was like, oh my God, there's so many people that look like me and act like me. And there's a space that I can watch wrestling with other people. And I think that is super dope. And I happened to find a way into this podcast world, and it's been like that ever since.
Wow. Yeah. It's always fun that way, because when we first started, it was because of Jobber Tears. Like, we had this outlet. We thank them all the time. Like, even at our anniversary party, I kept saying, Wilkins, yo, thank you. And he was like, for what, nigga? And I'm like, really?
all three of them.
You're welcome. Like, all of that. But yeah, like, we literally would give our hats off to Jobber Tears for letting us know like there's room at the table for all of us.
Everybody,
It's never a competition. Like, we all here to support each other. And unlike Pete, I actually had a wrestling community of friends to talk to.
Oh, wow, nice.
Not in high school, but I grew up in the project. So it's just like when you're in the 90s, when you're a 90s kid watching Attitude Era, you're gonna come outside.
Outside. That's when you talk about everything.
You're gonna come outside, you're gonna talk about it. You're gonna be like,
absolutely.
Oh, this, that, and third, whatever. And then like we had the action figures, and we wasn't doing the moves outside because I was outside.
What's on my living room or my bedroom?
Right.
Wait, were y'all trying that at home? Because I think they said that we could not try that at home.
That conversation plays vividly in my head all the time.
Yeah, I have so many things that have broken at my house that it was because Latrice and I were play wrestling. I got in trouble for like, I don't know if you guys used to do this, but like tuck your shirt in to make it look like a bra. Like,
you used to
the
pull
bottom,
it over.
And then we would like stick our like shorts up because we wanted to be like Trish Stratus. So it's like so many little things that we got in trouble doing because we're just emulating like what we want to be.
I was a tomboy, so it was like suckets and middle. It was like ring fingers as middle fingers because we really couldn't put up the middle finger in my house. So that's what it was for me. And it was always it doesn't matter. It was always that. It was always people's elbow, like just hitting them like this, and
stunners,
stunners, 100%, 100%,
ankle locks, sharpshooter, all of the above. Yes.
Oh, fun. I mean,
like, don't put me on one now because you got to stretch 3 days before.
Yes. Oh, girl. Yes.
I
even had like one of the old school, like the buddies. They were like the little cushion ones. I had those. I had an Ultimate Warrior one. I had a Macho Man. Macho Man is one of my favorite wrestlers. I had that. I had all kind of action. I was like, and I was the only girl for a while, and I had they were buying me all these wrestling action figures.
Nice. Yeah. I love that. Have you ever gotten asked over the years if you're a wrestler or ever wanted to be a wrestler?
Yes. I technically I wanted to be a manager. I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. I didn't care that they were valets because back then they didn't really wrestle like that, except like Sensational Sherry or like Sapphire, people like that. They actually or Jacqueline, they wrestled, but they didn't get to wrestle a lot. So when I was a little girl, I always wanted to be one of the valets. I thought that they were just gorgeous and beautiful. And I was like, oh, this is dope. Like, I can still go and be a wrestling fan, but I can always like bring the guys out and then like kind of interfere and like make them win. I like the anti-heroes. I always like the heels that, supposed bad guys, whatever. But I always loved them that way. So I always wanted to be a valet. And I was like, oh, I probably could do a move or two, or they could do one on me, whatever.
Right.
I wanted to be a valet.
In a little bit.
Yes, exactly. I wanted to be one of those.
Absolutely. I feel like now I kind of want to learn how to take a bump.
Right.
Just to say that I've done it.
Yeah.
Like, because it's just like everybody asks me, "Oh, you wrestle?"
Yes, I get
And I'm
asked
like,
that
no,
all the
no,
time. Like, oh, so you're a wrestler? Oh, like, oh, but do you want to be one? I'm like, no, just
no.
every basketball fan, you don't ask them if they play
Really with
basketball.
basketball.
Like,
Right.
chill.
Right,
Mhm.
And I
like
don't like the excitement in their voice. I'm
my
like,
answer
no.
is always the injuries that I have now won't last. My name is not
It's
Diamond Dallas
funny
Page.
because
I can't do it.
Wilkins said, because he's trained as a wrestler or whatever
Right.
now. He said he recommends, and I don't want to attest to this because I don't want to do it. But he said every wrestling podcaster or journalist should take a bump so that they know what
What
so we
they've
can
been
say that we're speaking from somewhere. We're not just like, sitting on the
Mm.
sidelines.
Okay.
And I don't want to ever take a bump, but I want to know how you feel about that.
Like for me, I think it's like dancing with a partner is like trusting your partner. So it's like you look at them, you're like, oh my God, you have to entrust that this person is going to have their lives in your hand and make sure that you're good. So it's like when they like throw them out of the ring and they have to like fall on their back, it's like, can I do that? Can I trust that I can like land properly? It's like, I feel like I'm gonna be just like all sloppy, like, oh my God,
Right.
like, like the whole dramatics of it all is like, can I trust that I can like land and like fall like out of like, again, I'm afraid of heights too. So that's another thing that I would have to like overcome. But like, it's something that I probably would try to like do a clothesline on, whatever, just to see how it goes and just like fall down. Cause I know it's a lot, but I wouldn't mind it. But yeah, it's just, probably have to get over that phobia or fear of like the heights and just like going out the ring.
I think once it happens, like you let the adrenaline
Right.
overtake you, and then you overtake it. Like me, I always have this thing because right now Bailey is like the best heel. Like she is
Yeah, I'm
literally
really
good.
loving her.
And every time they come to Brooklyn or Manhattan, like every time they come over here, she's always talking mess. She's always talking trash.
She is.
I'm like, yo, there's gonna be one day where I'm be in the ring with her and I'm just slap the dog taste out her mouth. I'm gonna hit her. Like I'm just gonna hit her. Like I want to.
Because you don't see us bad mouth in the Bay Area, so it's like don't come up, don't do that.
Right.
Don't come to Brooklyn. And you want the smoke friend, okay?
Right, because you ain't gonna make it out. Period. So when it comes to so when you realize like, all right, I'm not gonna really be a valet or a manager, did you ever think that you was still gonna be involved in wrestling just besides being like a spectator or a fan of it?
No, never. Again, I went to Legends. I would go to the viewing parties and like would be there with people just to like enjoy the camaraderie and just being there with people that just love wrestling. And then I got into a combative argument with SC3, one of my co-hosts on True Hill Heat, our boss, and he was just like, I think we were going back and forth I think it had to be because of Ronda Rousey. I want to say it was Ronda Rousey. It's either Ronda Rousey or Becky Lynch. One of the two people. He's an average Ronda Rousey fan, and we got back and forth, and they was like, yo, you can probably go toe to toe with us with no problem, just like giving your love of wrestling and just like holding your own, like you're not intimidated by guys that watch wrestling. I was like, no, I'm not. Like, I'm gonna give you my views, and like if you like it, you like it. You don't, that's why they're my opinions. You don't have to like them. And he was like, yeah, why don't you like join us on our show and like be a guest? I was like, be a guest? He was like, yeah. And I think that sparked another love that I didn't even know could even happen. And again, it's just something that just was a love for wrestling. Like I didn't know that there was a space that I can just go in and just like talk wrestling. And it was like, oh yeah, I'm a girl, I'm a Black girl. It's not much of us out there that talk about wrestling. So there's a space that I can, give my opinion and give our thoughts on what we love, which is wrestling.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you said that. It reopened like another love, because I was gonna ask you, like, becoming like a wrestling content creator, like how did that sway your love of it? Because sometimes I go in and out, just being like in the IWC and just like how negative and complaining it could be sometimes, and how like everyone has to be an expert and know every little thing. That for me takes away from what I love about wrestling. Is the spontaneity, is the surprise factor, the fact that I can turn on Raw and have no idea what can happen, and a lot of that gets kind of lost in the IWC. So how do you feel about, because we grew up without social media, without the knowledge of dirt sheets and stuff like that. How do you feel about being a wrestling fan but also a content creator, like in like today's time? Like how does that affect your fandom? How do you think it affects wrestling in general?
I think it's like it's a love and a curse. I feel like, if that makes sense, because I love the aspect of like surprises. I like the whole point of like, I hate when they say like someone is coming. Like, give us like, let us be fans.
Yeah.
Don't like. And I think social media has like kind of like cursed that, or like people that report on the news and like give updates and say, oh yes, it's just in, like this person will be here or this person's going to cash in. I was like, don't dumb it down, because now I'm not going to get like excited about the whole thing. Like, you kind of like ruined it. You understand? Like, it's so it could be like a love and a curse, you know, of it all. Again, I love that there's space for people to like create and like, you know, do their thing of wrestling. It's such a huge community of people that do wrestling, but it also can be a thing where they think that their opinions are correct and it's not. You know, so it's just like, it's your opinion. That doesn't make that's a fact. Like fact check what you're doing and like give like the actual adequate information of all of it. Don't just give half of the information. So I feel like it's a point where it can be a good thing and then it could be a really, really bad thing.
Right. I agree. I definitely agree. Because it's just like the dirt sheets in the sports, and back to P's point where you have to be experts. Like when we first got onto social media, especially wrestling Twitter,
it's a huge, scary
and the way
community of people
got real.
And the way, right, super real. The way that he would address every comment, every negative comment that will come our way. Me, I'll say something to hurt your feelings and then block. And then like, what's happening? I'm like, girl, everybody's gonna think that they're expert. Everybody's gonna think that they know it all. Especially because we're women in this.
Oh my God, yes.
Women in
like
this.
We're not supposed to have opinions at all. We're not supposed to talk about it.
Not at all. We're either trying to fuck a wrestler or not. Then we should just not be in the space. Like,
I think it also makes it worse because they're also black. So that's another thing.
Right.
Girl.
That's in a sea of like what? There we go. In a sea where we're just like, sprinkled in, and there's more, so we can always be overshadowed. They don't know what they're talking about. You don't have to listen to them.
That's the worst thing, to be mansplained to.
Yes.
Especially at an event.
I get mansplained mostly at shows.
Yeah.
Really?
At shows. Yeah. I was at a SmackDown, and I happened to be with Letty, and the guy next to me told me that let's say Kofi Kingston did his entrance and then the lights went dim and then he's like, you know, such lights would be proud or whatever in the ring, and the guy's like, so you know, when the reason why that's happening is because it's a commercial right now on the show. And I was like, sir, is that the case? And then he kept saying a couple other things, and I was just like, you know, trying to be nice.
Like it's your first time there.
Right. Thank you. I didn't know that. Thank you so much. And then Letty was like, can you just like give him your card or let him know who you are? Because he's starting to annoy me now. And I'm just like, yeah. But then they started comparing it to AEW, how AEW was better. And in my mind, I was just like, if you paid your money to come to a WWE show to mansplain me and talk about how AEW is better, then bro, do your thing. Do your thing.
Right. Like that's so. It's one thing to be like, oh my God, I don't know what's going on. I missed what happened. So catch me up. But for you to just be like, oh yeah, well, he has big arm because, you know, he hurt his knee. And, you know, he's moving gingerly because, you know, they don't want to get. I ain't ask you all of that. Matter of fact, stop talking to me.
Right.
And P's the nice one. This is why she's the face of the both of us, because
he
will literally be like, okay. Yeah, okay. Like she'll woo them down. Me, I'm like, can you stop?
Like, leave me alone.
Can you shut up? I'm trying to watch the show.
Like the match. Stop. Yes.
Like I'm straightforward because you're not going to interrupt or ruin my entertainment that's in front of me for the next 3-4 hours.
Right.
Like I paid my money like you did. We'll talk later, not even at all. Leave me alone.
And I think it's one thing where you want to make small talk, but then it's like another thing where you're trying to tell them, like I'm obviously a fan that I brought a ticket and I'm here for a reason. Like, don't expect that everyone has not seen or know how this all works out.
Right.
Or just assume like, okay, you at least ask me, like,
right. Especially nowadays. That's why
I think I'm very approachable.
Like, yeah, I think it's more insulting now because you can even see WWE pans a lot of women in the crowd. So like I could see 10 years ago you feeling like I'm just here with my boyfriend, like I don't really know what I'm here for. But now to really assume that I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here is just wild to me.
Right. And it's annoying. So, you know, when we're at shows, especially in New York, you hear the infamous "you're
Yeah.
the entire audience.
I
What do
love
you
it.
think was worse, that or when they was throwing like the beach balls?
You know what? I love the year. I didn't mind either one, to be honest. I think it's just fun and just people just trying to get together and just get the crowd together. I think it's just a whole like action in it all of like everyone just here and excited to just be at this event.
Right.
And they always take the beach balls away. So they I think they replaced it, especially with, you know, in New York you have they can't take that away because
right.
Yeah. So I don't mind either one for me. If I was close enough, I could hit one of the balls, but
I don't mind it either. The only time I mind it is when it's distracting.
Oh, if a match.
The people in them, or like, because it always happens during like a women's segment or something like that, and that's the only time where I'm just like, oh, come on, God, right?
Like, let these ladies cook and like let them do what they're supposed
because
to
it's
do.
like they already have a bad rap as it is. Like I intentionally like obnoxiously applaud the women when they come out just because
as you should.
Everyone around me is usually sit back down, they go to
go get the drinks,
like there's a select few like the Beckys and like the Charlottes that like people and Bianca now I think holds their attention, but I always just try to be like obnoxiously a fan of the women.
I mean we have to.
I also think it's really important to like watch the matches before the show starts or the matches afterwards, because they also need like those are recorded, so that you know it doesn't show lots of like fans engaging or the it's very empty maybe, so they don't really show all of the people. They just pan into the ring itself, so you have to be like loud enough to cheer them because they're also out there working and they have a love for wrestling and they're here to entertain you. So it is a lot when we should like be like there to like cheer them on and like bring help them out so they can move up in like said roster or whatever, not just in catering. Just do main events. I mean, just do the show Sunday night main event or all the others. Saturday night main event now?
Saturday night main event.
Saturday night or like, just like random like, dark matches and whatnot.
Do
you go you want me to go?
Yeah.
Is there ever a time where you just get like overwhelmed from wrestling? Because literally every year, as much as P and I be like, all right, we're gonna be good, we're gonna be great, WrestleMania weekend takes us out every single.
It is exhausting.
It'd be so exhausting. We'd be like, are we recording today? We'd be like, we could play a rerun. Like we could play a rerun. Do something on social to keep people engaged. Like, is there ever a time that you have been burned out from wrestling? And if so, like, how do you overcome that burnout to get back into the game?
Well, for me, I think it's very overwhelming where we have wrestling almost every day of the week now. Before it never was like that. We have so many shows that we can watch. Like, you can just catch up. If you didn't watch it Wednesday, you could watch it random Thursday. You can watch something on a Friday. We have even on a Saturday now. Like, it's so much stuff that can get overwhelming. Like, oh, I missed that show. I needed a day to like. I came home from work. I have children. I have 2 sons. It's a lot, and I have to like. Not have something has to not get done that day, so I can't engage in like NXT. You know what I'm saying? Like certain things. Like I've had a long day. I've just came home. And it's like almost 8:30, and I have to like now like take care or like spend time with my kids. So it's not more so like a decompress, but I have to like take a step back and like certain things are important. Where I have other things to do, and I'll just like catch up. Either like on my train ride to work or when I'm at work, when I have downtime or whatever, or I just miss it. And I just like, oh, if it's something to talk about, I can't speak on it because I didn't watch it. You know what I'm saying?
And I had to learn like that is totally fine because it's very indicative now to even just TV shows. Like my coworkers or my friends are like, oh, you watching such and such? I'm like, girl, what streaming services are on? So many shows on my list. And it's not only watching it like with wrestling, you want to become invested. It's so much. It's like active watching because that's not something you just throw on. Like you want to figure out what the storylines are. You want to figure out who you want to root for, who you want to invest in. Which is why it's hard for me to get into like another promotion. And it was ever any shade to AEW. It was just like I'm just using that as an example because it was a new promotion that people literally bullied me and Krista B online when AEW first became a thing because they were adamant that we cover it. And me and Krista got to a point where it's like we're barely trying to keep up with all the WWE
stuff.
shows.
Yeah.
And you want us to get invested in a whole new promotion and not
learn
even
the people
thinking about the legacy of WWE. Like I can go to my dad and you know what I mean? Like there's that history there. That's already there's already the emotional investment in WWE. So for us to even think about getting and we've gotten better, but like to think to get that invested in another and more characters, like it sounds insane.
It is a lot. It's so much. I kind of feel like that with it's Impact or TNA. Like again, I didn't watch none of that era. I've seen like clips and certain things of it, but I never got into that wrestling. So now that they have that access, and I'm like watching wrestling, I try to get in tune with watching it on Thursday. But you know, again, my day is so full, and I have other shows that I watch. Like it's not in the time frame of like getting that in, and I still need to go to bed. Like I still have things to do. Like I still have to besides a wrestling fan, I still have a household. Like, you know, other things have to get done. So if it's on the back burner, that's what happens. But I try to, you know, make time for it. And if not, like I said, it's okay. And then like my co-hosts, we all have an understanding, like we're not going to watch everything. God bless SP3 because he does everything, and I don't understand how he has the time to do it, but he does it, and he finds the time to do it. So yes, kudos to him. But for me, I sometimes take the back burner, and like I can have it like playing in the background, but I also need to like try to have like one ear in tune with that, and then the other ear with something else. So you know, I can have like. For me, I could have like Housewives playing on my iPad, and I could have NXT playing on my TV. I have to see both, more so the Housewives than NXT.
Right.
Okay.
There's levels to everything.
Potomac is getting spicy over here.
Yes, ma'am. So you know, with that is like it's just a whole like number of things that happen. So it's like thank God for Peacock, where I can just watch the Housewives on rotation the next day afterwards or on my way to work. You know what I'm saying? So thank God for that, where it's a space where I can do or fit time for either one.
Yeah,
I love that. So I was curious before, and I want to save the wrestling club talk because I know that's going to be a long combo. And I know you are a chaperone. You go to a lot of shows with the kids, but did you go to a lot of shows prior to that?
Yes, I did. Okay. You guys spoke of like WrestleMania week. I went to my first WrestleMania 2019.
Me too, 35.
35 was my first one. And I started it from like, I think I want to say maybe the Thursday of like Wale Mania. That was my anniversary. I drugged my husband to go there.
Wait, you went to Wale Mania in New York?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
I knew nothing about it.
The next day, me and Krista was on social media like, wait, what is this? How did we not know about that?
Right. I don't even remember how I got wind of it, but I followed Wale a lot, and I knew he was a big wrestling fan. So I just happened to buy tickets like on a whim, like really like last minute, maybe like 3 days before he was here. And I was like, I know he went to shows, but I didn't know he had that big of an impact on wrestling like that. And then like all the people that were there. I mean, he had so many heavyweights there. It was like unbelievable. And I was like, how is there another person of color that has this space that have us like I call us wrestling nerds or like peeps, and that can go to a space and just like listen to music and then like hang out with and drink and like have a party and joy. So I was like, damn, why didn't I think of that?
It sounds unbelievable. Like
it
exists
to me.
Yeah,
it's genius to me. Like
it truly is.
Like I'm sorry, I'm literally like for this year because it's like it's right there in Philly. So I'm like, girl, that's up the block. I'm like, yo, I don't even care if you're not a wrestling fan.
You don't have to be. But you have
I'm like anybody. I employ any and everybody at least once to attend a Wale Mania because it's just like you're having fun, you're drinking, you're mingling with wrestlers are literally everywhere in the crowd,
it's insane. It's
on stage with you. Having to, like me and Wesley had a moment last year. We were over here just like it's just like the best thing ever. And I'm just like, you don't gotta be a wrestling fan, but you'll become like, oh, that's the homie.
Right.
Wale Mania, after Wale Mania, me and Dawkins became cousins. It was just like, what up,
we've literally seen him
my God, that's
all weekend. It was just like, yo, what up, dog? What up, cousin?
Oh my God.
the best thing ever. It's the best thing ever. Wale Mania. Wale's a genius.
Wale again, a space where not only first of all, we don't even give into the point where like hip hop, sports, movie stars all have a love for wrestling. You understand what I'm saying? And this was what this can bring people together. They either in the crowd, they're at a show, they either go into their games with a belt on, like they all have some kind of like they're all connected in some kind of way. And for him to make this space to bring like music and wrestling and fans and all of this camaraderie and like podcasting all together in one night, I think is just like huge and big. Like it's just
so big.
It's such an amazing thing. And I saw this and I was like there, and my husband, like he watches wrestling, but he's not like into it like how I am or my son. And he'll watch it. He's watched it before. And for him to go to this space and just was like, oh my God, that was so dope. And I dragged him on our anniversary.
Happy anniversary!
Happy anniversary, right? Exactly. But he had a great time, and like when you drag him to the thing, he was like, "Oh no, that's super dope! Like this was cool." He like like he fanned out when he seen like Samoa Joe like in the crowd, like dancing and like rocking like to the stuff, and was like, "Yo, that's Joe! Like that's so dope to me! Like that's so cool!" Yeah, and it's just such a beautiful space that I wish I thought of it.
Right. Same. I also think with Wale Mania, like people forget sometimes that these wrestlers that we love so much are human. Like we all have the same interest. Like it's like I see Bianca tweets. She be like, even in her IG search, she be like, right, so who wants to talk sisters? Because
I love it. Yes,
you know they're real people.
Right, they're real people. Like even Samoa Joe last year when we were having some issues or whatever, we went back there. He was like, yo, what, y'all good? Like, and then everybody's already, we're all on stage rapping and singing and dancing with what is her name? Brianna B Money.
B Fab.
Like, B Fab. Like we're all up there. Like it's like you forget that they're regular people just like us. Like you everybody's so enamored with them being on TV.
Right.
It's like, oh snap! Like you bleed like I bleed. Like,
yes. You're human, just like you're a fan, like I am. Like you love this. Yeah. How cool is that?
That's why it's the perfect event to kick off WrestleMania week, because it's like that blow off kind of thing. And I think it also has to be noted that it's the one place that all wrestlers from all promotions
go to
together to hang out with their friends, to have a good night out. And I think too, it also speaks to the fact that like how Black and hip hop culture is always pop culture. It's a hip hop wrestling event that's bringing all these people together. Like I have to make that very clear. Like it is not who's those fucking rock stars that they, idolize in WWE. It's not Kid Rock bringing every type of person together in a random ass city. Like Wale, a hip hop artist, is doing that with other stars, like Black stars, the New Day. The Usos aren't Black, but they for the culture.
The Usos got some flavor. They got some flavor.
You know what I'm saying?
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Time people got a photo of Trinity and Jay Carter together was at
Yes.
I don't think that could have probably happened anywhere else, at least not initially.
Right. And at that time, remember, Trinity wasn't even signed. Or was she? I don't think she was with.
It was very up in the air. It was like they did an appreciation night because nobody knew if she was going to come back to wrestling or not. Crazy.
Yeah, it was a really, really dope night. I really implore all my friends. I'm like, I know y'all don't like wrestling, but y'all gotta go to
all my sisters are coming because it's right there in Philly. I'm like, just get a VIP ticket. We out.
I'm like, it's up the block. Let's go.
It's men everywhere.
Yes,
I mean, I can't say that, but I'm just making observations.
Right. Well,
you used to say it.
Not informing the public.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a great like single mixer for people if you are. Hello. I feel like it also shows you how one human and friends and how connected all the wrestling promotions are, because they all, at the end of the day, have been co-workers. They all either went to school together. They've come up with each other and trained together. Like they're all one kind of family.
Yes,
that's true.
100%.
Speaking of one kind of family, we have to jump into this.
Yes, we do. It's about that time.
That was such a good segue. Kudos to me.
Kudos.
Woo. The wrestling club, like we've seen that club go from a small little pea into this
jewel,
huge
diamond.
huge diamond that's just keep growing, keep getting shinier. It's like the most amazing thing ever. So shout out to
really
Victor
is
Perry for that. And
beautiful.
This is how I connected with P now.
Yes.
So
Another
so how I got connected with the wrestling club. This is right when Sasha and they were the tag champs, and she had visited Kip Amp, which is where my sons go to school, both of them. And I was like, oh my God, how did I not know? One, I seen that they went to a school, but they didn't put the school's name yet. They kept that very, very hush. They didn't put the school's name on the board yet. They only said that Sasha was in a random school at Brooklyn. And I was like, oh shit, that's so dope. How cool is that? Fast forward, like that Saturday, I think that probably happened like the random like Wednesday. The Saturday afterwards, Victor Perry is on True Hill Heat. And he's like, right before we do the show, we introduce ourselves. We talk like, oh, I live in Brooklyn. You live in Brooklyn? I work in education. I work in education too. Where do you work? I work at Kip Amp Brooklyn. Wait, what? I've never seen you at Kip Amp Brooklyn. Oh, well, I teach the sixth graders. Okay, well, I have a child in the seventh grade and I have a child in the fifth grade. Who are your children? I have my children such as London and Bryson. Really? I was like, yeah. I was like, wait, hold on. So Sasha Banks was at Kip Amp Brooklyn and no one told me about this? I was like, oh no. I got the principal on the phone immediately. I was like, Mr. Lewis, I know you lying. And anywho, that's how me and Victor Perry became so close. And we was just like fam for life. We just had this instant like connection. So then I'm on Instagram again and I see P. I already knew of P. I knew of the wrestling girls. I follow you both or whatever. But then she posted her being there at the school too. I'm like, wait, P work at the school? I'm like, hold on.
I'm like, no, I don't.
And I was like, no. But how P was there is because of her mom. I'm like, wait. Oh my God, that sweetheart lady is your mommy? Oh my God, Miss Rogers, I love her. That's my girl. I call Miss Rogers all the time on the phone and she answers me. So I was like, wait.
That sounds like her.
Is that your mom? She was like, yeah, girl. I was like, oh my God, how am I connected to these girls? And we had no ability of knowing that we were all connected in some kind of way.
And she's connected to us through our family members.
Right. Not even through wrestling. Literally not even through wrestling. Just because my mom, she loves what she does. She loves working with kids. And when I'm at other shows and I see Mr. Perry and I see the kids and they're like, and he's like, oh, this is Miss Rogers' daughter. They're like, your mom is Miss Rogers. We love her. And I will just say that reaction never gets old. My mom is absolutely amazing.
Mom is the best.
But what's so funny about that whole connection is my mom one day, she calls me because she wears those wrestling girls merch to school. So she had on our Scratch logo t-shirt and she said that one of her new teachers beeline to her and was like, you're a wrestling fan? Oh my God, I love wrestling. And started talking about like, let's say Raw the night before. And my mom was like, whoa, slow down. I'm not a wrestling fan. My daughter is a wrestling fan. Her and her friend have a wrestling podcast called Those Wrestling Girls. And we connected me and Mr. Perry connected on Twitter. Then we finally met Survivor Series that was in Brooklyn. We finally was able to meet. But him and my mom were telling me separately, like, I have this idea about starting a wrestling club. Your mom has been super encouraging. Like, my mom is the queen of pep talks. Yes. She will fucking make you think you can run for president. And you will literally run and be like, Miss Rogers got my back. And she was at least was a sounding board for Mr. Perry when he wanted to start the wrestling club. So to now see years later where it's gone, and the fact that you're a chaperone, I mean, who better? It was also cool about that. I have so much to ask you about this, but what I love, like, it literally brings me and Krista B to tears just talking about the wrestling club, because we know how much wrestling has changed our lives in our like late 20s, early 30s. I couldn't imagine going to school and being a part of a wrestling club, going to shows. Like, how has it meant to you being a part of all of this?
It's a blessing. I can't, words can't even describe it. For someone that has brought their love of education and wrestling together, who would have, like, I wish there were more Mr. Perrys. And I think Mr. Perry has now created a space where there's other teachers that were wrestling fans can now speak to children and like help them, and like, you know, certain kids don't like school, but if you bring in their love of like a certain thing, they can be so great. Is like unbelievable. So for that, that's my son harassing me. For that, with that being said, I think it's just so dope that he has brought in the love of like wrestling and learning and showing these kids how, because he's an ELA teacher. So you're now showing them how to now educate them on how to write.
Yes.
Write about your love of certain things. So now I'm getting two best of both worlds. So now I'm using something that I love, and I can write about what I love, and I can get graded on it, and I can get good grades and show my parents that I can still do this. I think it's just it's so 360 that it brings it all together.
Yeah, and I love the fact. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, because you're still talking.
Sorry, it's just a thing that like just education you can if you sit down and like listen to certain kids and like see what their loves are. They can be just so bigger and they can just do so well if they have someone on their side rallying for them and like helping them out.
Yeah, I love the fact like when Mr. Perry was first doing it, he would like you said, bring his English background with wrestling. He would teach the kids how to write promos.
Correct.
So he would teach the kids how to do like the ring announcements and have them stand in front of the class and give speeches and enunciate their words and
write an essay.
Like media. Yes. Like somebody, I wish I had a teacher like Mr. Perry. I'm not sure I have some favorite teachers, but it was never to the point to where this has taken off.
Yes.
And to see that they're being recognized on more than one wrestling platform, more than one wrestling promotion social media pages.
Yes.
It's just like P said, every time we see it, it brings tears to our eyes. Like for instance, with Cody recently.
Yes.
And he's reading.
Thank you, Cody.
He's showing the kids Cody's response. And like they damn near flipped I think they did flip the chairs over.
Yes.
Or having Big E and them come to the school.
Oh my God, that was amazing. First one during Black History Month. Hello.
Right.
It's sad that some of those guys are not there now, but still, nevertheless, it was an experience that these kids have written an essay that he helped them, write their love and why do they appreciate these people and why do they love them. And it was just something that was just so heartfelt and so beautiful. And that like their surprise was just like, they didn't know who was coming. They knew someone was coming. They didn't know who was coming. And for that to be a part of it is just such a blessing. And again, like, I think that people forget it. It's about the kids. It's about nothing else. It's all about them. And they have this space where they don't have an outlet where their parents can probably like take them to their first wrestling show or like let them like see these people and meet these people in person. It's like such a great outlet and give these kids a chance to like have their dreams come true, just to even go like to one Raw or SmackDown or an AEW show or like a house show, any kind of wrestling show where these kids are like treated like celebrities and stars because they have a love of wrestling.
It's so special.
Yes.
Can you I've always been interested in this, but I want to hear from your perspective about the girls that are in the wrestling club. What do you have to say about them and their love for it and just knowing that there are a good number of girls in the wrestling club?
I tell them to like keep watching. Don't let anyone hinder you. Like, why do you watch this? Like, why are you not doing anything else? Don't worry about that. Don't worry about what I'm doing.
Right.
Just worry about when you see what I'm doing when I get where I'm going. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep being there's like, they love both the guys and the girls, but they all are rallying for some of the girls. Most of the girls when they want to see them, they fan out and they just go crazy and they just get so excited for their love. And they, when the women's matches are coming, and it's just like it's just an outlet where I came from era where we didn't have that much girls wrestling. Now that we have so many rosters of badass women, it's so great. And I just tell them like, just keep when they have like their favorite wrestlers, like some of them want to be wrestlers, some of them want to be like commentators. They want to get some type of like love or like some type of foot in the door of wrestling.
That's so cool. I love that they have that space and that they have someone like you to talk to about it. And I'm so bad with names like my mother, but I was at a show and I could tell that there was one of the chaperones there. I don't know if she was a fan or she was just helping Mr. Perry out, but I can tell that when I came, because we are always sitting in the same section, and I can see that she was getting into it, and me being there kind of like validated her interest in it, because I was just another, like, I'm not there to be there for the kids. Like, I'm a fan as well. I look like you. I'm the same age as you. I'm
Yes,
not here
yes,
with a
yes,
guy. And I
yes.
could tell that she was just like, okay, so it's not crazy that I'm getting into this. Like,
Right.
I like, you know, and I love those moments. Like, we have women that, especially when we first got on Twitter, like older Black women that got on Twitter because they came across our podcast on YouTube, and we gave them a space to be like, oh wait, I like this too. Oh, you like this too. And like so many people that was like, oh, I'm just on Twitter because I can be with other fans, and you guys gave me like the okay to do that. And now seeing that Mr. Perry is like making it okay for these young Black and brown kids from such a young age. You know, and I know we've been talking about Mr. Perry a lot, but as the chaperones, like, I want to give you and the other chaperones their flowers as well, because it's not easy. Like, I always tell Mr. Perry, if I'm at a show with you and the kids, I will volunteer. Like, I'll, you know, just little things. I'll take them to the bathroom. I'll take them to get popcorn just to kind of relieve you guys, because what you guys are doing is not easy.
It's not, and it's like I feel like it's like a big field trip. Like, you got to think like,
yes,
the chaperone, parent. These kids are now in my hands. Like, I had to take, you know, and then like sometimes they don't even have like, they want food, they don't want a gift or a merch or whatever. They don't have enough money. Like, I'm not gonna tell them like,
right.
Even if it's like my last dollar, here you go.
Right.
Like, if they're children, like they're here for an experience, and they was like, oh, I don't have, okay, no worries, just give me what you got, and we'll take care of the rest. It's just a blessing. It's just something where it's a lot. It can be a lot, and there's, you know, some kids are great, and you have those kids that are just being kids, you know, they're being kids. But it's a great thing, and it's so much fun, and I love it. And I don't remember how I became a chaperone, to be honest. I just
that's like one of those things. Like,
you probably wanted to be a kid, and you was like, "I'm gonna go."
Right.
I got space.
Right. And I started transporting them, and we would drive. Like, we didn't have adequate like services where we could like bring everybody. So I volunteered to drive my car and have a bunch of kids in my car with my kid. And it's just been so much fun, and it's such a blessing where it's just opened up so many things as a chaperone to be a part of, and like I never would have experienced ever. I would never have thought in my life.
Right. Oh my God. It's crazy. So you mentioned that your youngest son is a huge fan. Is he the one that kind of held on to it, and you think he'll be kind of like you, like lifelong fan, hardcore?
I definitely believe it's all in his blood. It's in the bloodline now. Like he loves it. Yes.
I love that, because my nephews, they're 14 and 15 now, and they're at that age where like, don't dare me recommend anything, because everything else is just so much cooler. But one of my nephews was really into it as a kid. Like, if he happened to be, they live in North Carolina, but if they happened to be visiting, it was like Monday night, I would want to do other things with them, and then he would be like, Auntie Pay, isn't Raw on? I'd be like,
like, let's go.
Yes, it is. Let me turn it on for you right now. But because they're on YouTube, they would always ask me, who's the heel and who's the face? And it like kind of broke my heart, because I was so suspended in disbelief as a kid, but because they have access to so many things, like, how do you handle like talking about like kayfabe and like kind of keeping them like lost in it almost? You know, like, do you ever come across that?
This is another thing where Mr. Perry has kind of like taught him. At first, when he first started watching, he was like, okay, oh, he's a bad guy, I don't like him. Like, okay, you'll see, you just keep watching and understand how it works.
You'll like him sooner or later.
Right, exactly. And then you'll see what happens when he, you know, turns face, and then you're gonna be a big fan, or like, you know, how it goes. But it also like shows you like, you know, the love of like how Mr. Perry had broken down of like how everything is like coincides with each other. Yes, there's kayfabe, but there's also like a point where they keep it going for the fans, and how there's a story that needs to be told. They have a job, just like any other show that you watch or whatever. They have a job themselves, and they're a part of a show, and they have a script, and they have to abide by certain things. So for me, and it's so funny how to see like, even like when it's a average heel turn away, he's like, oh my God, why did they do that? Why? I don't like him no more. It's so great to like see that. So even with the whole kayfabe, he's like, why did he even go and turn heel like that? What's wrong with him? You know? So it's so good to like still see like that whole like camaraderie of like, they're still fans, and they still have that love, and it doesn't matter if that person did this, they are still gonna have that love, and still, you know, be an average washer.
I love that.
Love that as well. Love that as well. So, what do you? Before we wrap up, we have to talk Rumble because it
Okay.
is this weekend.
Okay.
It's P's favorite.
Okay.
You.
Love it.
It'll be my first one attending. Your second one.
Oh, nice, girl. I have
I'm
not
so
been
excited for
to go,
you.
but I can't wait to put that a part of my checklist.
Right.
Is it too soon to ask if you're going to Mania with the kids?
I no, it's not too soon. I am going to
Yes. Okay.
I will be, yes, I will be there. I one of the chaperones for the show. So yes, I will be there in person. I can't wait.
Okay.
Love
You
that.
gotta link
I
up.
will see you guys. I will finally see you in person. I can't wait.
Yay, me too.
I just knock on the door. Hey, girl.
I mean,
but back to Rumble. So I want to know, who do you think is going to win women's? Who do you think is going to win men's? And what woman surprise and male surprise you would like to see into the Rumble?
So, okay, with the given news of what has happened to Seth, I'm hoping that the title is vacated and we will now have the men's Rumble for his belt. That's one thing I would like to do.
That'll be good.
It will be the third time in history that it will have happened. It happened in 92 and 2016, I believe. So this will be the third time, if that is to happen. This is just an assumption. But I definitely think there's no question that CM Punk will definitely win this Rumble, without a doubt. Then it can go a number of ways, but I think CM Punk would be the person that can win this. The other side for Cody will probably happen at Chambers. But for men, I think it's definitely going to be CM Punk. Surprise from men? Maybe Brock. I don't see much surprises for the men, to be honest. Because we already have like a stacked group. Maybe NXT guys. I hope like Trick Williams could be in it, because if once Trick's music hit and they say whoop that,
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. And it's a wrap. I have goosebumps to even think about it right now. I think
I caught a chill right up my arm.
I think Trick will definitely get a huge reaction. Of course, Carmelo, probably Braun. But these are just NXT guys. For the women, I think Bailey will definitely she should be the winner. I don't think anyone else story-wise should win Rumble. I don't think she's ever won either, right?
Nope.
So this will be her first time winning. So
she needs that singles match at Mania.
And she needs
the only horsewoman that didn't win.
She's the only exactly. So I feel like this is her moment in time. With that being said, I love Hill Bailey though, so I don't know how we're going to switch her around.
She's gonna be a tweener. She's a tweener. She's become so beloved, kind of like Randy Orton, where it's just like we're just so happy for you, girl. If I gotta boo you, I'll boo you. But I just been such a Bailey fan. Yeah.
Exactly. As far as surprises are concerned, I would love to see Jacqueline be one of the legends that come back. She has tweeted and said things about being ready and trying to talk to Paul and Vince. Probably not Vince per se, but more so Paul. I would love for her to come, but also like surprises as well. Like Alexa and Carmella have had their babies. It's been enough time; they should be able to come back.
I kind of miss them.
Definitely said that. Alexa got a new haircut. Right, maybe getting ready.
They probably getting ready. Maybe new looks. I think maybe Liv might be able to come back as well. Yeah. Who else? NXT girls. Definitely Roxanne. Isla,
Lash Legend and
Last Legend should be able to. I think those girls can get Jade definitely should. I don't understand
that would be a good.
Why are we holding on to? I think her and Bianca should have a good standoff between stare down between each other. I'm getting goosebumps. Yes, please. I'm getting we talked about this on Seven Face and Hills air. This is airing another day, so we talked about it Sunday. We talked about all these things. So I think that the women are going to. I would hope that the women close it out, but they probably won't, because of the fact that the whole men's issue. So they're probably going to
always going to close it out.
Right. Yes, of course, Roman.
They usually open with the women for some reason.
Right. And I think that they should give the women, more credit where it's due, because I think this year the girls are going to like deliver unbelievable, where like they deserve like all of these things. So I think the girls deserve that moment, but of course, yes, the 44 way will be the closeout of the show.
Yeah.
But yes, those are my things. I think for the women, I think it will be more impactful than the men, even though the men's is probably because of what's going to happen with CM Punk. He's going to have a huge pop or whatever. So I think overall, I'm so excited for you guys that you guys are going to be there live. It's going to just be I'm so excited for Rumble. It's one of my, I love the Big Four season. I love WrestleMania is my favorite because I turn the age every time the WrestleMania turns.
I was just going to ask what your favorite was.
So every time they turn a year, I turn a year. So that's my connection to WrestleMania. But I think Rumble is like my second favorite.
Love that. Who's your favorite of all time?
My favorite of all time is we go 80s to early 90s, it will be Macho Man Randy Savage. We go Attitude Era, we go Stone Cold Steve Austin and and Shawn Michaels. We go right now. I am loving Mr. Roman Reigns. I just love what he's done so far. I love Seth.
Seth is good.
Seth is a good one.
Who's your favorite right now, Krista?
Those are my guys. Yes.
Right now, my favorite, like, girl, why are you asking me the obvious?
Roman.
He's, in another,
They're above me, both of them. Both of them.
You guys, if I had the space, I swear I'd have like my own like room just like this.
Like, I'm literally
corner could do, because this is literally me and Krista's corner. Like, it's a corner.
It's a corner, like, and I'm not even done. Like, I think I have another rock picture I got to put over here. I got some other stuff, and this is just a corner for me.
Corner
for your son. And then if you happen to record it,
yes,
right.
I definitely do also record in his room sometimes, so you can see like his merch and his things on the walls and stuff like that. So yes.
Who's his favorite right now?
Cody.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's one of his. He has like a top like 5.
So
that's like
lovable.
yeah.
Like, it's hard to hate Cody even if you really wanted to.
I don't know what it is, but as soon as he debuted back again in Dallas, because we were there,
right?
I have just love him ever since.
And
it's Cody for WWE and Darby for AEW. He loves Darby Allin.
Okay.
Oh,
he was Darby Allin for Halloween.
Nice. Very nice.
That he made me work very hard on preparing. A lot of DIYing around here.
Because you're the one that happened.
I bet. Who's your favorite right now, P?
Right.
That's a good question.
Because you have a lot of people in your background.
Oh, that's so hard.
Besides Bailey.
Maybe Bailey. I love the tribal. I love the bloodline story.
Bloodline story
has kept me and Letty from all the way from pandemic.
Yes.
All in the twin aspect, because we was always so disappointed in Jimmy, because how are you letting your twin brother get disciplined by another grown man on TV? And I know you injured Jimmy, but like so ever since then, and then like Roman took off the fucking vest, so I've been into all of that ever since. And then I've always been a huge Kabuki Warrior fan, so the fact that they're back together, like
I can't wait for that to happen. I'm like, y'all taking too long for that.
I want to see that dynamic, and if all 5 of them, or 4 of them, because Dakota's out, if they're all in that ring, who's throwing who over?
I can't wait.
We also said that remember like what Dakota was supposed to be cleared, but I think she's like kind of like lying about it or whatever. Like that could be like a part of the story. And she goes into the Rumble and then she throws Bailey out, and Bailey's like, "Why didn't you help me?" That could also be a part of the story,
right?
So there's also going to be a number of things.
I'm waiting to see that dynamic.
The storytelling in the last year has been top notch, because they could just, it's long term, so you could just like you could get Jimmy and Jay back together at some point. You like, there's so much. There's
so many Easter eggs all over the place. Like, you don't know when they're going to like open up.
So, in the words of R-Truth, I think Tom and Nick going on.
I think someone said this on our show, and I was like, oh my God, I would love that. When and if Damian does cash in, R-Truth will cause him from winning.
That would be so good. So he won't go in like and come out like Baron Corbin did. Like, it will definitely be like an interference for him.
Because he thinks he's a part of the bloodline, and they keep saying, "Come on, Truth, like get out of here, like get out." But then it will cause some type of friction, and be like, "Oh, wasn't it?" Like I can see R-Truth blaming it on JD. and making it his fault.
Yep.
You
I
know,
can
like,
so see that.
but that's like the whole comedic part of it all. Like that makes like our truth is a gem that we need to keep in a bubble by himself. Like just don't touch him. Like he needs to be like somewhere like saved and like don't.
I love that idea too, because it was Damien who first started warming up to our truth to say like, and then if our truth is the one who, you know, I like it.
Remember, he told JD he wasn't on the shirt. Our truth is on the shirt.
He said members only.
Members only. Bro, our truth is the only person that has his actual face in the little whole
in the little logo, love, live and laugh thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, JD had to pick up the entire circle. So
you know what? I can't.
He's shaped like a Funko Pop.
Stop that! Don't do JD like that. Oh my God!
He did that to himself. I'm sorry.
You know what? I can't.
All right, I'll be nice. I guess. Well, Krssi, thank you so much for joining us. Long overdue.
Having me.
We have to have you back.
Please have me back. Yes.
We have maybe a Rumble post show.
Okay.
With it.
Please let everybody know where they can find you.
Well, you all can find me every Saturday, 11:05 a.m. We do True Hill Heat, our flagship podcast show. Every other Sunday is Serving Face and Heels with Stephanie Hypes and myself as we do all women's wrestling. And then on Fridays is Know Your Role with myself with Stephanie Hypes and Queen of the Ring, Alex. Other than that, you can follow me on IG, which is Krssi Luv _1. True Hill Krssi Luv on Twitter or X as whatever you want to call it. And then on Facebook, which is just my regular name, which is Crystal Lynch. Okay. Thank you guys again.
You can find me on Instagram. Oh, thank you so much for coming on, Krssi. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Queen 3_PR and follow those wrestling girls everywhere and subscribe to our YouTube channel and support us on Patreon. New Schoolin session playbacks drop every week. And yeah.
And Twitch, don't forget.
And Twitch every week. We stream multiple times every week on Twitch.
Oh, wonderful! Yes. And you guys will do the wind down Thursday. Thirsty Thursday.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. We just did one last week.
It was peace celebration.
We gotta have
birthday. Yes, please.
Oh, we gotta have you on Thirsty Thursday. Maybe in maybe the February one.
Okay, please let me know. I would love to be a part of that.
So
okay. Fun. And as you all know, you guys can follow me on Instagram at ms_KRISTAB_ and on Twitter, ms_KRISTAB. As Queen PR said, please make sure you're following us everywhere we stream, Twitch, YouTube, Patreon, subscribe everywhere. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms, those wrestling girls. And on that note, it's your girl, Krista B.
And Queen PR.
With the lovely Miss Krssi Luv. And we're out of here till next time.
Bye.
Queen P.R, Krista B, those wrestling girls, TWG, Black Excellence, making it effortless, podcast bringing up women and wrestling. Let's go.